How do you really protect your data? First, a bit of background. I run eyeofliberty.com, which is a website which allows anyone to reveal an impressive amount of uncensored personal data from any users. And judging by the data, the amount of digital illiteracy people show whose data is leaked and is completely in public is very frightening. So in this video, we'll look at how to actually protect your data and what companies tell you that does protect your data that doesn't actually count, so you know what to watch out for. Now, companies frequently fool us into the illusion that the data we put out there on the internet and while using their services is completely protected, and they hook us into providing more and more of it, usually done for advertising purposes. And now this is a much deeper topic, and I might want to cover it later, but it's a dangerous issue of retention algorithms, which feed on a lot of our data, that suck us information out of our soul effectively and turn us into a sellable product for advertising. But that's another issue. When you register, you're frequently forced to, or you willingly, put out your full name, your date of birth, your home address, and often even more private information I've seen, just because there's an option to do so, when of course in reality you should just be able to get away when using the service with just a login and password. And again, Reddit is a prime example of this. There's many fields, there's many options you can fill out about yourself, when technically all you actually need to use a platform is just a login and a password. Overall, I'd say about 85% of completely random strangers on the street, so not even on the internet, have data leaks either through their email or through their phone number, which is pretty insane if you think about it. You ask 10 people and 8 or 9 of them will have their private data leaked, if you know where to search. Now, again, when you put out all of this information, going back to the companies, they want to make you feel like you're secure. So you keep using their services, keep pushing more and more and more. But these are only half measures that give you an illusion of safety. In reality, its effect of the solutions they offer you are way overblown. So here are 3 things that are way too overrated in data privacy. The first is when corporations tell you to not share your data with your family and friends. Now, this should be obvious that, of course, it's safe to do so and saves you a lot of money. But again, companies like Netflix tell you not to do it out of safety concerns, when in reality they're pretty much non-existent. Now, honestly, if your friends and family are not digitally illiterate, there is nothing wrong with this. And a bit later, I'll also go through what it does mean to be digitally literate and actually secure. Another big thing, of course, is password complexity requirements and 2FA, two-factor authentications. Both of this are completely negated if there's a data leak and your information is released in a large database out of millions of other people just like you. Currently, and I'm sure in the future the situation will be the same, brute force attacks are only a small minority of all information security incidents. So your password was leaked to the hacker, probably not because he mass tried out every possible combination on his supercomputer. They don't stop you from phishing attempts and social engineering attacks, which are in fact the biggest risk we see as end users today. Now, there's a story I remembered of a friend of mine whose PayPal balance got completely wiped because of a phishing link that offered him a large refund of a certain, PayPal transaction. And of course, greed got the best of him. These people play on your emotions, they play on your instincts in some way, and yeah, greed got the best of him. He clicks on the phishing link, he got sent to the website, he types in both his email, his password, and the guy was pretty smart. He had the proper password, He had two-factor authentication, but he typed that in, and within seconds, his balance got completely wiped out. And again, just shows it's not enough to buy into the notion that I'll have a complex password, I'll have my authenticator set up, and everything will be safe. Of course not. You have to still be smart. Now, how do you actually avoid losing your data and your accounts to hackers? Obviously, use unique passwords, and preferably they're generated and stored in a good password manager. Now, this is a big thing, and I personally use KeePassXC on my home machine. It's free and open source, quite reliable, but there's many other versions like LastPass, which are available as well. Now, why this is so important is when there's a data leak, when there's a company gets hacked, or let's say a company like a few days ago, Krispy Kreme was hacked as of recording, and the company employee just leaked data of hundreds of thousands of users. Now, if you have a unique password, only one login and one password will be leaked for that provider. And you can notice that. You can change it if it really matters to you. But again, all of your other services, all of your critical services won't be touched. And that's a big thing because obviously, a company like Krispy Kreme, of course, information security isn't their main business model. They're selling donuts and whatever else they sell. So they're not going to spend too much money and resources on protection in that case. And if you use the same password, for example, for Krispy Kreme and PayPal, leaking the less important one can lead you to losing the much bigger one and losing a lot of money. So you have to be careful with that. And as such, using unique passwords very much help. Of course, another point, learn basic OPSEC. Most of information security is actually behavioral, if you think about it. So learn how to identify social engineering yourself. Don't rely on spam filters of Gmail or Microsoft or whatever. They aren't perfect, definitely, and a good phishing email can get through very easily. Phone calls, again, a lot of people that type in their phone number can see it's in part of many databases. Like if you live in the US, a lot of voter databases were leaked, and a lot of people are registered as voters. You might not think too much of it, but then anyone can type in your phone number or your email and know a lot more about you. So people can call and can do spear phishing through that. So you have to, again, be up to date on modern forms of attack, and you'll be far better off and much more secure. And of course, finally, see what data is actually out there. Go on eyeofliberty.com. It's one of the easiest ways to check, and register very quickly. Again, fortunately, I don't ask for any private data. You'll just need to log in and you can use it, no questions asked. Check the people you care about as well, because again, elderly people and children, teenagers who use technology now are much more at risk because they might not know the principles of information security. So check up on them to see they're actually protected, or some of their data, some of their passwords might be in open leaks. So that's my recommendations. If you have any questions, either email me, the email is on the website, or comment down below, and we'll see you next time.